Hey guys, this is Kime Interviews. We are here with Frank Iero. A little one-off festival in the midst of your tour. So how's that going?
It's going really good. Tour's been amazing, and I knew this was going to be like a hectic week, but so far everything's been pretty great. It's been run really smoothly, so I'm happy about that.
What's it like, kind of starting from the bottom, so to speak, with this new band, and being at a large festival like this, where your band can kind of get overlooked when there's like huge acts playing and whatnot, and you can be kind of like an Easter egg, sort of. So like, what's that like for you, and how's that going?
I think that's the nature of a festival, right? Like, you have just a large amount of bands, some different levels, coming in and showing up and playing, and it's like I always feel like it's like a buffet or like a tasting test. Like you come here, like you go see bands, and then hopefully if you kind of like what you see, because it's not going to sound good, it's going to be a really weird environment. You know what I mean? If you like what you see, you go see it in like its natural habitat. And that's all you can really hope for at any festival.
Yeah.
But as far as starting from whatever level, that's what you do. You start a new project. It's new, and you got to build it. I feel like whenever you skip that step, you do the project or the band or whatever like a disservice. You know what I mean? You just got to build it. That's how it works.
And I feel like you kind of have like an addiction to this process too, because you have had previous acts. So I mean, what is that like? How does this specific project bring something different to the table?
I like bands. I like starting bands. I've always done it. Like there's something about that initial process of like naming it, trying to figure out what the hell it is, and then taking it out on the road and like playing small clubs and like getting sweated on. Like it's just there's something visceral about it. You get that instant satisfaction. And how does it differ? I mean, I feel like different people and different times in your life bring out different things. So no matter what, it's going to be a different animal. This project just so happens to be things that I did on my own in my basement, and I didn't know what it was going to sound like live until I decided to tour the record. So it's very different for me in that I wrote these songs in my head, I put them down on record, put the record out, and then it was like, oh, okay, now I put a band together, and now the songs are even different now again live. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I mean, how have things changed for you? I want to talk about that, like not only as you're about to approach stage, but also while you're preparing to go into the studio and writing in the studio. How have things differed for you for this project as opposed to previous projects?
Gotcha. I mean, I have no idea what it's going to be like for the next record. Hell, I don't even know if there will be another record. I mean, maybe. I have songs in my head, but who knows what the future holds. But as far as what it was like, I mean, I wrote these songs. I recorded some of them in my friend, like some of the live drum parts at my friend's studio. I did the rest on my own in my house, and that was it. Like I was done with it. I just wanted to complete that record or these songs, and then I was gonna just do something else. And a friend of mine asked to hear what I had been up to, so I played him some of the tracks, and he liked it and convinced me to play it for other people. And then I ended up putting a record out. So like, it makes no sense how this all happened. Like honestly, man, like I didn't plan on any of this. I didn't ever plan on like going solo or anything, because I think that shit sucks. I think it's stupid. And if you were like, oh, do you ever want to be like the singer of your own band and be like, I'd be like, fuck you, no way. And now I'm doing it. So yeah.
That's interesting. All right, so I kind of want to. I mean, I didn't want to bring this up, but it kind of leads to other things, I guess. The fact that these MCR rumors have been going around, and people are saying that like so-and-so entered the studio and did some songs together. Is that true? And I know you kind of debunked that on Twitter, but can you just talk a little bit more about that?
I don't know I don't know where they came from.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we broke up. Like broke up a few years ago, and change, and yeah, that's it. That's all. I don't know what else to say. But I mean, we still hang out when we can.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's maybe what fueled rumors or whatever. But there's nothing to it. Yeah.
It reminds me because you're talking about having this music that you didn't intend for it to get out, and then it kind of did. So I just
I'm
figured
not hiding anything. We're not hiding anything. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I just feel like people in general, like musicians, have like a huge hard drive filled with music that they don't want to release, or it's not cohesive with an album, and it's just more therapeutic, and it hasn't been released to the public. So, I mean,
yeah, no, that's true. But as far as like new stuff that we're like in secret, no. No.
All right, so as a frontman now, how has like your art changed? Not only like I guess the writing process, but I mean being an onstage presence to represent an entire band. How has that changed for you?
It's weird. I'm still learning. I feel like I've always felt like the hardest job in a band is a drummer, and I still stand by that. I think drummers have the hardest job.
No backtracks.
What's that?
No backtracks.
Well, it's rough, man. You're the backbone of the band, and if the band, has a good feel to it, that's all on you. You know what I mean? Do I think that deserves the attitude a lot of drummers have? Maybe not, but I don't know. Whatever. I digress. Like I think drummers have it hard, man. I think the second hardest job in a band is of the quintessence that frontman thing. You know what I mean? I think there's that thin line between engaging and being genuine and being a fucking prop comic. You know what I mean? I think it's you go too far one way and it's just this laughable like caricature, But how have I changed? I think about it. I've thought about it a lot, and I think like it's trial and error sometimes. Like you try to just be yourself up there. You don't want it to turn it into a Q&A either, but like I don't want it to feel like I don't know. I don't want to feel like a quintessential frontman because I don't feel it fit that mold. You know what I mean? But I think about I'll take it this way. When writing lyrics and things like that, I think about it a lot. I think about what I want to say and how I want to say it, and I think that's very important. Like sometimes, you don't think about it as much. It's just like, oh well, this is my art. This is what I'm writing. But when you think about it as like you're talking to a large group of people, that changes it for you a little bit. And it didn't affect me on this record because I didn't think anyone was going to hear it, But I think for the next record, it would, Maybe not in a bad way, maybe not in a good way. I don't know,
So I mean, I wanted to talk about that. What is like the kind of theme of this album? And I noticed that the track listing is pretty interesting, and they have unique names. And then along with the music videos, they're a little bit obscure and they're different from the music. And I know you talked about that you intentionally do that, but I mean, what overall image message are you going for with this project?
I don't know if I'm going for an overall aesthetic with it as much as it's just. I guess I need to keep it pure and personal because I feel like it was such a personal and pure record to make. Like I want it, if nothing more, I wanted you to feel like you were listening in on a moment in time as opposed to listening to a record and having somebody just kind of yell at you, So when it turned into this record coming out and we were going to do videos and all this stuff, I was like, all right, well now I'm going to take this opportunity to make art pieces that I've always wanted to make, and. Like you said, like sometimes you feel like, all right, you can drive this point home with a visual and you can do it word for word, or sometimes it's like, maybe I've said everything I needed to say in the song and I'm just going to do something completely different. So I feel like I've done both of those with the videos, but it's fun, man. I feel like I made this thing just for myself. It felt like this little light I could hold on to. And I did it for the right reasons because I just felt like I needed to for myself. And then I let go of it a little bit, and it spawned these other opportunities, and that was really fun because it felt very organic and just felt like the universe was kind of just taking it, And I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a great thing. Maybe I just need to snuff it out. I don't know, But I guess the future will tell me.
All right, so what is your personal favorite off of the record and why? If you could talk about that. And then where can fans find you after South by So What? What tours will you be on? What cities will you be visiting?
Gotcha. Well, let's see. I think my favorite on the record might have to, I keep going back to Joyriding only because one, it's the only song that I did everything on. I actually played drums on that song too, and I felt like I never wanted to do that because I'm not a good drummer by any means. So like for the record, I had my friend Jared come in and do it, and he killed it, and he probably would have killed that song too, like even better than it sounds now. But we just didn't have the time, and I had written it after he had left. Anyway, but that's like truly me, and I did it like in a night, and I felt like I said everything I wanted to say very very concisely, and then I like the way it sounds. So that's my favorite. As far as where we're going to be after this, we actually go to South by Southwest tomorrow. Okay. We play a double header there, and then actually I think it's a triple header, and then yeah, it's like the trifecta. Yeah. And then after that, we're at Deep in the Heart of Texas Fest on Sunday, and then we finish out the headlining tour that we're doing. Go through Florida and then up the East Coast back to Jersey with Modern Chemistry and the Homeless Gospel Choir, and then us and the Homeless Gospel Choir go to the UK. Yeah. Well, we start in UK with Milk Teeth and Axis Off, and then we take Milk Teeth stays, and then Axis Of and Homeless Gospel Choir and I we go through Europe, and then Homeless Gospel Choir goes home, and then we go to Russia.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jam-packed.
Yeah.
All right, so then somebody's going to be able to see you then.
Somebody, somewhere. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, guys. So make sure to check out Stomach Aches. It is out. And, yeah, that is Frank Iero. So thanks for having us. This is Cam Interviews. Bye, everyone.